One of the hottest tickets that were so hard to get at TIFF this year was Anora, the new Sean Baker film, which I paid a pretty good price to get. It was one of those movies where I knew I had to see it when going to the festival. And even though I sat in the second row, it was awesome because I got to see pretty much the entire filmmaking team right there at the Q&A at the end. I got to meet Michael, who was a super awesome guy and turns out to be Sean Baker's biggest fan, on my plane ride to Toronto. It just set the stage for a great film festival for me. I even saw Sean Baker himself the morning of my screening at a coffee shop when I was only running on caffeine. I didn't say hi because he was already talking to somebody, and I'm not gonna be that guy that goes over and goes, "Hey man, my name is Chase. I lived right by the Florida Project Hotel and I really like your movie. I can't wait to see your movie later." I'm not gonna interrupt a man's conversation by doing that. I refuse to be that guy, but regardless, I was very excited to see this movie. It was definitely one of my most anticipated of the entire year. I've seen all of the 3 previous Sean Baker films in Tangerine, The Florida Project, and Red Rocket. The Florida Project probably being my favorite of those 3, even though I didn't really like it the first time, but I really appreciated it on a rewatch. And now we have Anora, which a lot of people are already predicting is gonna be the Best Picture winner at the next Academy Awards. And it follows a New York sex worker played by Mikey Madison, and she gets involved with this Russian kid at work who happens to be the son of a very powerful family, and then shit hits the fan. And I know a lot of you have gotten the chance to see this movie already, so I don't really want to spoil it for the people that haven't gotten the chance to see it in a theater yet. But yeah, a lot of people have already said that Anora is by far the best movie of the year, and after seeing it, I can definitely see where they're coming from. The movie just delivers on nonstop energy. It's funny, it's sexy in a very clever kind of way. The pace never stops. Like, I swear to God, until about 10 minutes ago when I finished writing notes on this movie, I thought the runtime was like an hour and 40 minutes. Turns out this thing is 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't even know how that's even possible with how fast this movie went by for me. A lot of that definitely has to do with the script, but I can't emphasize enough that the entire cast really elevates that work to probably a whole other level here. Earlier in this TIFF recap, I did mention how I don't have a strong preference yet in terms of the best actor race, but if Mikey Madison isn't the front runner for best actress this year, then what the fuck are we doing? Mikey Madison carries this movie, and the movie didn't even need to be carried, but she does it anyway. And she's so perfect in this movie to the point where it finishes and you're like, nobody else could have possibly done that. It takes so much work to pull off every single joke, every single dance move, every single dramatic beat, and yet she does it like it's no problem. She makes all 3 look super easy, and everybody else does great, don't get me wrong. But my second favorite performance has to go to Mark Edelston, don't know how you pronounce it, I'm sorry Mark, who based off the interviews is kind of just playing a crazier version of himself. And even though it's not a one-to-one comparison at all, I did used to have a French roommate at one point. Shout out to you, Leo, if you ever watch this, you're the man. But all I could think about while watching this movie was, this kid is literally Leo if Leo was rich and had a bit of a negative side to him. But I just thought this kid was so good at playing an authentic, like, foreign exchange kid. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than he's probably playing himself. But that just goes to so much credit to Sean and his wife. But yet the energy that this guy brings to the role is so contagious and so real that even when he fucks up, you can't help but laugh and kind of love him a little bit, to the point where I can't see anybody watching this movie walking out and being like, man, the Russian kid was just so boring. It's impossible. And a lot of that has to do with Sean Baker and his wife Samantha, who's also producer on this and a lot of his other work, and just the whole casting team, because they just know how to cast their movies probably better than anybody working today. And we'll get to just how good Sean Baker is at directing those actors in a second, but I just can't emphasize enough that the energy in this movie is kind of unmatched, because Anora has the best needle drop of the entire year, and it's not even fucking close. I feel like I've listened to Greatest Day at least once a day since I've seen this movie, and every time I listen to it, I just want to ascend out of this chair. It's insane. I also feel like a lot of people criticize a lot of directors for trying to tell stories, or even not trying to tell stories, of people that are outside of their own experience. It's just really easy to make a movie feel fake. But with Sean Baker, it's just unbelievable. And it's not only how he directs this movie, but if you look at his entire body of work overall, You would think this guy has been working as a female sex worker in New York his entire life. The whole thing just feels so real and so caring that if you ask me, right, if I was watching this movie, had no idea who directed it, and you said, was that directed by a man? I would be like, fuck no. I will bet my entire checking account that there is no way a man made this movie. It would be impossible. It's just so authentic to the experience that you can't believe it by the time it's over. And I don't even think I could count enough directors on one hand how many could pull off something like that. It's a very impressive feat, and I don't know how he does it, but I keep hoping he makes whatever movies he wants to make. It doesn't matter who it's about, because it's clear that he'll make it as authentic as he possibly can. And honestly, there is only one thing that stops this from being my definitive favorite movie of 2024, and it's the fact that the second half does become a little bit repetitive for me. Like, it does introduce a good set of characters that I do really like, but it does feel like it loses a bit of the momentum it has from the first half and a long sequence in the middle of the movie. And it's not like it's a huge fall off or anything like that, but for me, it does go from, wow, this is the best movie of the year without question, to kind of like, okay, the rest of this is pretty good. And again, like, a pretty good movie is a good movie, don't get me wrong, but I do think there is a bit of a drop from the first half to the second half. Even though there are a lot of laughs that come from certain characters, trust me, as an Armenian, I appreciate some good Armenian representation because we don't ever get it on screen. And the ending is undeniably good. I just wish there was still that same level of energy. I mean, it's not existent, or non-existent, I should say. There is still energy in that second half, but I just think the first half is just so incredible. And if the latter part of the movie lived up to that first part, this would probably be my only 5 out of 5 movie of the year. Like, I really think it's a great movie. It's probably my favorite Sean Baker movie now. I have to rewatch this and The Florida Project to kind of pick a favorite. So if this is playing in a theater near you, I don't know why you're still on this video. Stop watching it, go book a ticket, and go enjoy this movie tonight, because I don't know how people will feel when it wins Best Picture in terms of the general public, but if it does end up winning Best Picture, that is a wild fucking pick, and I won't be mad at it. If this feels like a shorter review than usual, it's because this is a segment of a much larger video that I've put on the channel already, kind of reviewing my entire experience of the Toronto International Film Festival this year. I saw about 37 movies, which is absolutely crazy, and I talk about all of them in that video. Some of these are the biggest Oscar players of the year, some of them are the best horror movies of the year, whatever it is. We talk about a lot of movies in that video, so a link to that full video will be in the description here. But if you just want to see the shorter reviews that keep coming out over the next week or two, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of those reviews that drop. This is also all of my social media right here, so if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, I check the Letterboxd the most. I haven't been as active on this because I've been working on this video and so many other projects over the past month, but I love talking about movies on there, so if you want to keep up with what I'm watching, be sure to watch that. Also, shout out to Reed for being so patient with me and helping edit all these videos and getting all these exports out. So if you need help with any editing at all, be sure to hit him up. He will absolutely help your videos out a ton. Be sure to like these videos, whether it's this video, the Long Toronto video, they all help me out a ton. It helps more than you think. I know a lot of people ask for you to hit the like button, but it helps me pay Reed to help me keep editing these videos. So if you won't like it for me, like it for Reed. And be sure to comment down below. Have you seen this movie yet? If the film has come out, what did you think of it? If it hasn't come out yet, are you excited for it still? Did my opinion change? I mean, this outro is going on the end of all my videos. So with this specific movie, I don't know if I loved it or if I hated it, but you know what? At the end of the day, a day talking about movies is a good day. So I'd love to talk to you in the comment section down below. And that is it for me. So this is Chase. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks.